We're going live.
Oh.
Welcome to another edition of the Clydesdale Media News. This is a special edition, and we are here with event director Eamon Coyne and head programmer CJ Martin for the Masters Fitness Collective. I am Kat Shear. I'm your host. How are you guys doing?
Incredible. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, so we are 2 weeks out from the third annual installment of this magnificent competition. Are we ready? How are we doing?
Yeah,
How do we feel?
we're gonna be fine. It's
It's so
Yeah.
great.
yeah, we're good to go. It's like I think we get better at putting out fires closer and closer to the event year over year, and so it's not causing me as much stress this year as it has in the previous years, which is nice.
Yeah, just kind of rolls off. So, Eamon, tell us a little bit about how the Masters Fitness Collective came to be.
Sure. So, Masters Fitness Collective started in 2019, originally as a platform for sharing content. We had this vision of potentially building out a live streaming platform for Masters-based competitions and just to celebrate the Masters community. When COVID hit in 2020, and we realized the day after HQ went through all the videos and announced the games qualifiers, and then they canceled it the day after. Bobby, Jamie, Heath, and myself. Heath was actually competing that year. We realized, hey, we could host this. We can do this safely. We can do this efficiently, and we could help these Masters finish out their season. With the intention of it being a one-off. We were just going to do it one time, and that was it. Of course, we had wonderful people come on like you and CJ to help us kind of like pull the pieces together. We did that in about 3 months. We were able to get some good sponsors on board. We were able to, CJ threw together some great tests for those guys, including my favorite event that we've ever done, which is the Snatch Run Snatch at the baseball stadium. That was a really cool event. And so after that, we were like, that's it. We're good. We did it. Like, go team. And then, the request from a number of athletes saying it was their favorite competition kind of pushed us down this path of, all right, well, let's try it again. So we did it again last year. First year we had 110 athletes. Last year we had 190, and this year we decided we wanted to stress ourselves out even more, and we have about 543 athletes total coming. So,
No anxiety there at all.
None. Zero.
The growth is good, though. Growth is good. So, CJ, this is your third year programming the event. What does your process look like when you sit down and sort of try to come up with these tests?
Try to get in a real dark place and just think about how I would want to hurt people. No, I'm just kidding. No, we just try to figure out like, hey, what's been tested over the years, both at Masters Fitness Collective, but also in general, right? Like what have we seen at other competitions? What have we seen through the Open? And then try to make sure we do something a little different, right? Try to create some more formats. Really, my goal is to make it interesting for the athletes, not easy, but I want them to have to think. I want there to have to be some strategy in each of these events where they have to like really consider, hey, where am I going to push here? Where do I need to back off? And so we just kind of go through that and figure out like, hey, what implement, what load, what movement is going to be best to complement kind of the overall picture of the event.
And Eamon, what are some of the logistics that go into putting together an event like this?
The logistics. Well, we make it a point that we want to include a swim in every year. Historically, we've done it at a pool. Year one was one pool, year two was two pools, and now we have an indoor pool since we've moved the date to later in the year. And it's a little cold outside in October in Indiana. We now have 20. I think it's a 23 or 24 lane indoor pool at the natatorium. So coordinating with that, if we have any other offsite events, coordinating with that and trying to figure out who we can partner with within the Fort Wayne area. They definitely have a sense of that middle America neighborhood, like neighborliness, I guess the word I would use. I don't know if that's a real word or not, but so a lot of the community in Fort Wayne definitely wants to help us out. And then making sure, we have enough volunteers, making sure the volunteers are very well taken care of. Because they are kind of like the bread and butter of what we do.
Yeah, you guys take very good care of the volunteers. So coming from someone who's been at a lot of events and volunteered at a lot of events, semifinals, games, everything, top notch in terms of how you guys take care of the volunteers, the swag that they get. I think, are we getting shoes this year?
We are from Strike Movement.
Nice.
Yeah, shoes, and this year we're putting people up if they're more than 2 hours traveling distance. We just want to make sure that the volunteers are taken care of.
Yeah, in general, CrossFit does not happen without a really strong force of volunteers. At no level does CrossFit happen without volunteers.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the athlete experience going to look like this year? Any changes or updates from that?
Yeah, so we're really excited about it. Last year it was a little clunky, if we're being quite honest.
I was in charge. Yes, it was.
Yeah. So this year, Heath has taken over the athlete experience, and we're going to do like a full games-like check-in experience where athletes will be able to go into like a quote-unquote locker room and get their gear and try it on and make sure that everything fits appropriately, and then we'll get some pictures taken and stuff like that. So we want to make sure that the athlete experience is exciting for everybody, and it helps us stay a little more organized in doing that as well.
Mm-hmm. And CJ, what's sort of your connection with the Masters athletes? Like what sort of made you want to do this and be such a big part of it year over year?
Yeah, it's been a super fun experience. We've had Masters athletes since the very first, Masters games. We had Helen in it at 50 plus, crushing it in Carson. And so we've coached a ton of Masters athletes. It's one of our largest programs online. And we just have an awesome community. And so, but the big, for me, it was in 2020, right, when we had all these guys that had busted their ass for, literally years, but then obviously in the months leading up, and then to see their season just end, I was like, man, that is not cool. We've got to make sure that they have an opportunity. And so when Bobby and Eamon reached out, I was like, I'll do anything I can to help support this effort, volunteer time, whatever. They asked if I could put together some workouts. And I did. And then I went out there to support at the event. And honestly, it was a little bit of like, not a little bit, it was a lot re-energizing for me because I've been doing this a long time. I mean, I was at the 2007 games. I've been at every game since. And, not to soil the waters at all, but like the sport's changed a lot from where I started. And I love the community aspect. I loved that, hey, we should be going out to do this, not for paychecks, but because we love this, because we love pushing ourselves, right? And there was an element at that Masters event and in the Masters community where like the friendships that are made at Masters events are unparalleled, right? Like, and it's not to say that the younger guys at games don't make friends and stuff like that, but it's a different level of intensity and competitiveness. And at the Masters event, you have people that have, jobs and kids or grandkids, outside of this. And so the conversations are just different. And it felt more like the organic, kind of authentic grassroots of CrossFit in the early days. And I was like, man, I'm getting up there. I'm 45, right? I'm no longer a 30-year-old kid that thinks I'm going to try to smash myself in every workout, right? And so my connection to the sport has just changed. My connection to the people in the sport. And when I was at that Masters Fitness championship that first year, I was like, this is actually where I want to spend more time. I want to spend more time giving to the Masters community because these are the people that are, doing it the way that it was originally intended and pushing themselves for the sake of pushing and figuring out our limits. And frankly, I also think from a business perspective, if we want to push people into CrossFit affiliates, my members aren't 17, 18, 19. My members have, enough income that they can actually, pay a gym membership. And there's nothing more inspiring to me, to have a 35-year-old say, hey man, like I just had kids and I'm getting out of shape. And I just watched some 45-year-old or 50-year-old athlete with a six-pack crush a workout. And it's like, I actually have time to get myself in shape before I hit that point, right? And so for me, it was just like every element of it spoke to me. And it's not that I don't still love the younger kids. We still have, a thriving athlete program and, teams that, finish on the podium this year at games and everything. And those kids are awesome. But I also have younger coaches that can coach those kids, and I can spend time with people my age and working with the Masters community.
Yeah, a lot of big names at Invictus. Speaking of big names, Eamon, any interesting participants this year? Maybe games athletes, names we might recognize?
Yeah, we have we typically year over year, we have a lot of games athletes that want to come out and throw down with us. Kind of like what CJ was saying, because it's more of a community event.
It's my Jen Ryan shirt. She'll be there.
She'll be there. Jen Ryan will definitely be there. Who else do we have? Ron Ortiz will be there. He's on a team this year. Is Jen on a no? Jen's individual this year, right?
Jen's competing individually.
Yeah. Sean Ramirez making his comeback this year.
That's exciting.
Yeah, super cool. There's some like really interesting storylines that are coming. I've owned a gym with Tim Paulson we just celebrated our 10 years, and Tim's dad, Jerry's going to be out there. Jerry's just like, if you've never met Jerry, like he's like the nicest guy in the world. Double hip replacement. He's out here crushing it. It's pretty cool.
I love it. Dave
Danny
Hippensteel?
Dave Hippensteel, of course. Dave will be there.
Back?
He'll be back. Danny Petro and his father. So I don't know if anybody remembers Danny Quadzilla Petro. I brought that up with him today, and he goes, "Man, I can't believe somebody's still using that." I said, "People never forget." You can't call yourself Quadzilla, and whatever. The 30 to 34 men's division has a ton of great athletes in there. Easy's going to be there. Easy Muhammad's going to be there. Danny's going to be competing. Dex Hopkins is going to be there. Gary Jones, which if you don't know who Gary Jones is, you're about to find out. The women's side, we just year over year, we have a ton of great male, female, young masters, old masters, competitors coming out and throwing down.
Yeah.
So
you got some badass teams in some of the older divisions too. I know Kevin Kester and Pat Sprague are a team.
Yes, they are.
We got two legends teaming up in that. And then I forget, there's another team that's challenging them that wants to go at them pretty hard. So that'll be a really fun team division.
That is going to be fun. So if people aren't there in person, how can they sort of tune in and figure out what's happening over the course of the weekend? Aside from Clydesdale Media will be there, hopefully doing some stories and wrap-up shows, but is there going to be a live stream?
There is going to be a live stream. We partner with Morning Chalk Up, and we'll be live streaming on their YouTube channel, their platform. Okay. And I believe this year we're also going to be live streaming on our own platform as well.
Nice. So we'll be social media posts and things with links out there for that. And it is free, correct? So no hackers, don't follow any links that say, enter your credit card information to watch this event, because that is not us.
Whoa. You're messing up my whole plan here.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez.
Eamon, I'm going to bring my pocketbook because I want to go shopping. Do we have some cool vendors going to be around Vendor Village?
Yeah, we have a ton of cool vendors. Our focus a lot this year from a vendor standpoint is we have a lot of people coming out for recovery. We have a cold tub company that's coming out. We have a pulsed electromagnetic blanket company that is coming out. We have CJ's mom will be running the booth for the Normatex and the
Mom and pops hooking people up with the hypervolts and the hyper
Always.
you know?
Love them.
Always. Strike Movement's going to be there. Paper Street Coffee's going to be there. Train will be there. Who else do we got? RX Smart Gear. Dave will have some of his stuff out there. Hero Barbell. Yeah, we've got a ton of great vendors that are going to be out there.
And we're going to see some single under crossovers, right?
Single under crossovers.
Special rope. I love it. The Frevo rope.
Yep. That's
It's
right.
going to be cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to see you in a couple weeks. Can't wait. I appreciate you taking the time to sort of get everybody up to speed on this. I'm super excited. It's going to be a great weekend in Fort Wayne. And best of luck to you both, all of us, really, as we continue to plan the next 2 weeks and things get crazy. But we'll see you guys there.
All right.
All
right.
right.
Thank you so much.